I want to thank all of you for being here because this is incredible. And this is democracy in action where everybody comes to participate. So I appreciate your participation. I am Nancy Schultz. I'm the incumbent in District 3. And for the past 4 years, I've been very privileged to serve the residents of District 3. And one of the things that I've been most privileged by serving them is that I hold fireside chats 2 to 3 times a year, and I get to know my residents, and they help me be a better commissioner. Over the last 4 years, I want to tell you a little bit of the accomplishments that we've had on the Board of Commissioners. We've reduced the budget by 20%, despite how difficult these economic times are. We've also, you've heard about the 2050 plan, we've adopted an Almond overlay, and we're in the process of a Salem overlay. One of the most important factors to me is to build transparency, and I hope that, I guess my time is up at this point. So I'll turn the microphone over to my
So Mr. Flanagan.
Mr. Flanagan.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all for coming out. My name is Tony Flanagan, and I'm running for District 3 County Commissioner. And I first of all want to say that I'm a family man. I'm a husband. I'm a family man of 4. I have one of our children that graduated from Newton County High School. The other one is currently in Fickwood Theme School. And we have one that will begin his academic scholastic journey in about 2 years. At an early age, I've always idolized Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And I always believed and always had the desire to help others. And fortunately, I've been able to do that by serving our community and by serving our education system, by being the school council president at Fairview Theme School, and 2, by being a coach for the sports here in the community, by being a mentor, mentoring kids with their books, with their reading, with their scholastics in school. 4, I'm also I'm part of the organization, the Brotherhood organization here in the community. The Brotherhood organization is an outstanding organization that helps out, do a lot of volunteer work here in the community.
Mr. Flanagan, we're at your minute.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. You can keep the microphone. You're going to field the first question. And the first question is this. What are the greatest challenges and opportunities in District 3 right now? And what would you do about these challenges and opportunities?
Well, some of the things that I've seen in District 3 is that we have a high foreclosure rate inside District 3. We have no businesses that's within inside the county that is attractive, that will bring in more businesses or better quality of life for us in the community here. So therefore, what I would propose is, 1, is that we bring in a quality business, such as Baxter Industries is a good start, but we need other businesses outside of Baxter Industries to help bring in that revenue that we need to make District 3 more functional. We need more businesses that we can go to and it can service our needs in the community overall, not just a hidden agenda that is being placed there to service or a particular group of people or a single person in development of their property. So I think overall we need to build businesses, focus on revenue, and we need to have services for our senior citizens here, community services for our senior citizens here. I think they need that, and also the disabled and the handicapped.
All right, thank you, sir. I'm going to let Ms. Schultz, you want me to repeat the question?
No, I got it.
Okay, thank you.
Biggest challenges and opportunities. Biggest challenge when I go around the District 3 is we need jobs. We need jobs, we need jobs, we need better paying jobs. You've heard some of the other candidates talk about the fact that our per capita income has declined. Grateful to the Chamber and all the participants on bringing Baxter International to our community. That will raise our per capita income, but we need more like that. And so we've got to continue to support the economic development efforts of the Chamber. That will help bring in the jobs. And when people are employed, then all things fall in place. One of the other obstacles that we have in the western side of the county is the traffic on Salem Road. We've been dealing with this for many years. We are now in the process of adopting or putting together a Salem overlay, but the top subject that comes up every time we discuss this Salem overlay is, what are we going to do about the traffic on Salem Road? We have placed that on the #1 request for the TIA, the Transportation Initiative. But if that doesn't get funded, then we are back at square one in terms of finding funding to widen Salem Road. I could go on and on, but I think my time is. I think that the other issue about the western side of the county is that we need to continue to work together to solve our problems. We had the highest growth on the western side of the county, and those individuals need to be part of the solution. They need to be encouraged to be part of the dialogue. And I believe that through my fireside chats, we've done that, and we will continue to do that.
Ms. Schultz, you can hold on to the microphone. So my next question, which I've been asking everyone, is, have you ever been convicted of a crime? A crime.
A crime.
A crime. Tongue-tied.
A speeding ticket, does that count? That's I would, no. Other than a speeding ticket, that's all I've ever had.
All right.
And that was before I had to teach my children how to drive.
So, yeah. So, is there anything in your past that this public needs to know about, considering you set budget and policies for us all to live under?
Anything in my past that...
As far as character goes, is there anything that is disparaging?
Well, I'm running a campaign on integrity, and I take that very, very seriously. And, I think that says it all when I put on my brochures that integrity is the most important value for me at running as a candidate. And I would hope that my actions over the last 4 years speak for themselves.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Flanagan, how about you? Have you been convicted of a crime?
Well, that's a very good question. I looked at those questions before, and I pondered a response to those questions once before. I think in the past, I think we all have had some discrepancies in our lives that somewhere down the road that we try to forget and forgive. And, in response to that, I also ask people this here, is that when you go to church and you sit there, are you a Bible toter or are you a word believer? You see, that's the key thing here, because in the Bible that I read, or the word that I love and understand, is that it says if we go before our Father in heaven and ask for pardon, to pardon our sins and forgive us. So therefore, if we can go before the Father, then we need to also be able to go before man and ask man for forgiveness. So it is important that not to really focus on someone's past. It's the journey they have taken, the paths and the steps they have taken to improve themselves, to make them a better individual, to strive to raise their children, to be...
Mr. Flanagan, I appreciate forgiveness. Mr. Strauss was very candid with us earlier this evening when this question was asked. How about yourself? You've yet to answer the question.
Well, the question was actually answered, but let me share this with you. There were some discrepancies in my past that I'm not going to say I'm very fond of, but I did take the necessary steps that was allotted to me through the judiciary process and utilizing that process to be pardoned of those things. So therefore, that's why I continue to say that we can't keep looking at 22 and a half years ago or 23 years ago, because if we did, then we have to always go back and look at the 60s, or we have to go back and look at the early 1930s. So therefore, please don't judge me by 23 years ago, okay? It's the steps that I have taken since then. That is the most important thing. And right now, me and my wife and my family, we own and operate a business here in Newton County. We contribute. Let me finish, please. I know I'm right out of my time, but I really want you to, I want to get this out, and I want to get it out right. See, me and my family, we own and operate a business here in Newton County. You see, if I lived in the past, then I would not be able to have that forward-thinking process. I would not have been able to make changes and embrace our community. So therefore, what we did, even with our business, we did an apprenticeship. So we give back also. I have a gentleman that works with me. He's from Mississippi State University. I do an apprenticeship with them.
That's great.
So
Well,
that's my giving from a mistake that occurred 23 years ago.
I'm going to move on.
Thank you.
Okay? So, next question to you. Why are you running against Commissioner Schultz?
Well, I'm not.
Hang on, let me just finish. You notated earlier in your opening remarks that she has some kind of hidden agenda. So what could she have done to improve her first term in office that you have concluded she needs to be replaced?
Well, two things. I think as a county commissioner, I'm transparent, I'm approachable. I want people in my community to know who I am, that they have their ideas and their suggestions that they can bring to me. And I can take those ideas and suggestions in a collaborative and bring those before the remaining county commissioners board in a collaborative effort. We come up with a resolution to those problems or address those ideas that's going to benefit the community and the county overall. Now, as I've been walking the campaign trail, there's one thing, but no offense to you, Nancy, but there's a lot of people that says, I don't know who Nancy is, one. Number two, I asked them straight up, have you ever met your county commissioner? They say no. I said, do you know if it's a man or female? They say no. Is she black or white? They still say no. So therefore, I wanted, what I would do different or what Nancy didn't do, I'm gonna be a neighborhood county commissioner. I want to visit all my neighborhoods in my county, in my district, so I can focus on your ideas, your suggestions, and your problems and bring those back before the board for resolution.
Ms. Schultz, in reflecting back on your first term in office, yes?
Sorry, never mind.
What would you have done differently and why? And also feel free to respond to Mr. Flanagan's statements about transparency and people not knowing you.
Well, in terms of people not knowing me, I would like for some people to come and look at the blisters on my feet because I have been going door to door for the last week, meeting all of my constituents again. And before I took this office the first time, I got out and I met 5,000 of my constituents. That is something that I consider as the hallmark of what my office holding or my time in office has been, is that I've really made an effort to get to know my constituents. Have I gotten to know all of them? Absolutely not, because until we did redistricting, there were 27,000 residents in District 3. Now there are 20,000 residents in District 3. But I sure am trying my best to get out there and meet every single one of them. Now, in terms of what I would do differently, the first 2 years, the way that I work is that I really spend a lot of time trying to research and understand a problem. I get in and I do the due diligence on what needs to be done. I attend as many educational opportunities as I can. And I would have to say that in the first 2 years, my learning curve was very steep. Now I've gotten there, and what I can do now with that information is really take off with that education and that experience. I'm an advanced certified county commissioner, which there are only 2 of us in Newton County that have that certification. So I really think that in terms of what I would do differently, if I could speed up that learning curve process, that's what I would have done differently.
I'm going to give you a minute to have closing remarks.
You need to ask me? Again, I'm Nancy Schultz, and I didn't tell you that my husband, who is my greatest supporter and probably my greatest campaign worker, is also here tonight, and that's Dick Schultz. He's in the back of the room, and I couldn't do any of this without his help. I just want you to look around this room and look at all the work that has been done on the 2050 plan. This is where we have spent the last 7 years really studying where we need to go as a county. I've been a part of this process on a regular basis for the last 4 years. I would appreciate if you would put me back into this office so we can continue this work and move the county to where it needs to be. We are so close. I'd appreciate your vote. Most importantly, I need your prayers. Thank you.
Mr. Flanagan, yes, sir.
Once again, my name is Tony Flanagan. I am running for District 3 County Commissioner. I definitely would like to have your vote to be put into this office. And I believe that some of the changes and ideas that I have that comes from the citizens inside the District 3, that will take us forward to where we need to go in the future. Yes, we need to continue to work gradually towards the 2050 plan. That's a great thing. We also, in the meantime, we have to deal with the real issues at hand. We have to deal with jobs. We have to deal with loss of revenue. We have to deal with the education system. We have to deal with the non-services for the elderly and non-services not out there for the disabilities. We have to deal with veteran services here in the county. There's very little to very limited service here that's offered. So therefore, that change needs to come in the next 4 years. Now, when I get in, I want to get in and I want to work in a cohesive environment with the rest of the county commissioners. I want to be able to bring our ideas together.
You go ahead. Finish your
I want to bring those ideas together so that Newton County overall can grow and prosper, be the county of the future and the county that all the residents want it to be, not just for us, but for our children and their children.
Great.
Thank you. Please vote Tony Flanagan, District 3.